Speaking of the Browns, not a good day. Not a good day for the Brownies. Not a good season for the Brownies, to be completely honest.
Yeah.
To be transparent. Some would say might be the worst situation in sports. Actually, specifically, Dan Orlovsky went off on his opinion and beliefs of where the Cleveland Browns organization is, and he didn't mince any words of where he thinks Deshaun Watson is at this point in his career. So let's play that clip.
They're in an awful situation, and by every measure, if you just watch the game and then you look at the stats, their offensive performance, and specifically Deshaun Watson's offensive performance, is the worst in the NFL. They're done.
Should they bench him?
Yes, they should have benched him week one. They should have started thinking about Jameis Winston.
You did say that,
But
yes.
I don't think this is a head coach decision, and I don't think this is a general manager decision. I truly believe this is from the owner, because there's no way that you would watch this football tape over the last 5 weeks and say that's our best opportunity. Look, this is why it's the worst situation in pro sports. $150 million.
They still own. That's what you're saying.
$150 million.
Yeah, to be clear.
They might have $150 million guaranteed to a quarterback and justify taking a first-round draft pick at quarterback next year.
So there it is. Worst situation in sports. And guys, I got to be honest. People keep saying the Browns keep being the Browns. Mm-hmm. You know, Kevin Stefanski, it's not that he can't coach.
No.
And you've seen it.
Two-time coach of the year.
Kevin Stefanski has proven he's a good coach. This situation has just become toxic. It's become terrible.
Yeah.
It was already the worst trade when the time comes. I still don't understand how you make a trade with all of the allegations. Everything's still not finished. I get it if you're saying, hey, second chances or we did our due diligence. But that was also coming off a guy that hadn't played football the previous season as well, and then has to then deal with the suspension. So what? He didn't play. Then he came, had to sit out the suspension, and then you gave him a guaranteed contract. And then that was probably the most lifeless game I've seen from the Browns in that era.
Yeah.
And how can you feel confident right there? And I think that they're stuck. Like they have to be stuck. And I mean, you guys agree? Anybody think that Cleveland's not the worst situation in the NFL? I know that the Panthers, but even the Panthers seem in better spirits
Bryce
right now.
Young yesterday threw a dot coming into the game.
So he's back.
I don't know. It was an incredible throw. But no, to answer your question, the Browns are cooked for the next 3 years because with the cap and them being, they're not going to be able to get rid of Watson. Mm-hmm. It's almost kind of one of those things where, I understand that where Orlovsky is coming from, but what other options do you have? I mean, is Jameis Winston really going to make you that much of a better team?
I think so.
Don't know. This is a guy that threw the most interceptions in the league while throwing the most touchdowns in the league. And that was during his peak. I just don't know if Jameis Winston has it in him.
I just don't see this team being successful with Watson. And I think it's not even at this point a talent thing. I mean, I think, without a doubt, Watson, I don't even know if I can say he is better than Jameis. He should be. We've seen him be better, but that Deshaun Watson also hasn't really shown up since the Texans. I mean, we've seen
Massage Watson.
We've seen these different games here and there where it's, you see the glimpses and you're like, okay, it's still there. But overall, I mean, yesterday, just even the body language of his teammates and stuff, Amari Cooper just looks fed up with the number of times that he gets open and the ball is thrown nowhere close to him, stuff like that. I almost think it's even taking away the talent aspect of it. You just need something, some sort of a vibe change, something there, because it is not going well right now.
Well, how about this? Let's play a little fun game here, guys. They played 5 games. Over or under, Deshaun Watson has a game over 200 passing yards.
No. Under.
Yeah. Under is correct. Deshaun Watson has had 3 games with a completion percentage over or under 60%.
Oh, under.
Under.
3 games. He threw for 53%, just over 53% this last game.
Jesus.
15 to 28 for 125. He has yet to throw over 200 yards yet this season. He has 5 total touchdowns passing, 3 interceptions. He has 1 rushing touchdown, a QBR at just 21 on a scale to 100. 21. His QBR on Sunday was an 8.5, which is almost his lowest since his week 1 performance against the Cowboys.
Still has $150 million guaranteed left on his contract.
And I think that's the point of saying with Jameis Winston, at least Jameis is going to give you a little bit more energy, a little bit more spice. It might not be the spice that you want.
It's going to be the spice in the form of turnovers.
They need a spark because their season now is going down the drain. And the confidence of what you're seeing over and over and over again.
It's already there.
It is tough to be a Browns fan.
I also don't know why you would pay go get one of the better backup quarterbacks in the league if you don't anticipate something like this happening. I mean, I know they didn't pay him a lot. And Jameis, I think, was a minimum-ish deal. But
also, the reason why they didn't bring Joe Flacco back?
Because they didn't want contention in the locker room,
in the
quarterback room.
They didn't want a controversy because they know Joe Flacco is still so damn elite. And by the way, Joe Flacco is still very damn elite.
If I was Stefanski, I'd just want out. He'd get a head coaching job somewhere else, a much more competent organization.
It has just become a situation now with Cleveland where I thought last year, we were just talking about last year, it could be dangerous in the postseason. Like we felt it. We're like, damn.
Yeah.
January Joe.
They're pretty good. They got Joe Flacco.
I wouldn't be shocked, and maybe reports of this came out, I can't remember, but I think some players in the locker room probably might have thought their better shot was with Joe than Deshaun.
I would not surprise me. Honestly, I think the Colts could make it to the playoffs this season with Joe Flacco. We talked about this on Sunday, Rip, that I don't know if you guys were listening, but I think that Joe Flacco should remain the starter for the rest of the season and let a guy who's only had 20 starts since high school, learn a few lessons from Joe Flacco as he continues to develop. I think it would be in the Colts' best interest if Joe Flacco starts the rest of the season.
Well, and Anthony's just been banged up a lot. Anthony Richardson, we'll get into
another good point. Yeah,
and we'll get into that conversation a little bit more on around the news and notes.